So I'll be sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So unit 4, we're going to start. So you all learn about you all learned about calculus for functions of single variables, and you also learned a few concepts for calculus of functions of single variable. Okay. So before going to calculus for functions of single variable, let us recall some definitions for calculus for functions of single variable. Okay. So let me change it first. So functions of single variables means what? You will be having y equal to function of x. Okay. So what is the first concept of calculus in functions of single variable? What is the first concept in calculus on function of single variable? Can you tell me what you have learnt? What concepts you have learnt in calculus? First one. You don't remember any calculus concepts? What concept you have learned first? That is what I am asking. Only 45 students attended today's class.
Domain, range.
That is not part of calculus. No, domain and range you will learn in algebra.
Maxima and minima.
Maximum minima. How do you find out maximum minima? Can you tell me?
We differentiate the function.
So is differentiation is your first concept of learning in calculus? Is my question clear? I'd ask you what is the first concept that you learned in calculus?
Limit.
That's what limit. Your first concept is limit only, no? Right? Hmm. So first concept is limit. What is the second concept? After limit. Hmm?
Continuity.
Continuity. Next concept. Next concept. Right? So all these concepts you are going to see for functions of single variables also. Functions of several variables also. Okay. For functions of several variable means what? It can be z equal to function of x comma y. It can be function of more than one variable. It can be function of two variables or function of three variables or some function of several variables. Okay, any function more than one variable is going to be function of several variables. Okay, so in this you are going to see again limit, continuity, one second. So functions of functions of several variables also you will be learning limit, continuity. What will be the next concept? Will you have derivative? What kind of derivative you learned in functions of single variable?
Partial.
Ordinary derivative. Functions of several variables you are going to see partial derivative, and this is a single integral, right? And here you are going to see multiple integrals. You are going to see multiple integrals. Okay. So already you have seen partial derivative in intermediate itself. Okay, and its applications we are going to see in this course. Okay, and you don't know the definition of limit, continuity for functions of double variables or triple variables. Those things we will see here, only definitions. Then we'll see the definition of partial derivative and some rules on partial derivative and some applications of partial derivative, followed by multiple integrals. Multiple integral is going to be unit 5, and applications of partial derivative. Okay, partial derivative definition and its applications are going to be in third unit. Okay, and these two definitions are also included in third unit. So these three you are going to see in unit 4, and this one you are going to see in unit 5. Okay, so already you have learnt in the intermediate. Okay, so from this we try to generalize to this. Okay, so before moving on to limit definition for function of two variables, okay, if you can understand the function of two variables definition, you can generalize the same definitions to function of three variables or function of several variables. In order to write down the definition for function of two variables, if you can understand the definition of function of single variable, then that will be easy to understand the concept of function of two variables. Okay. Can anyone tell the definition of limit? What do you mean by limit extending to a? Limit extending to a f of x equal to L. What do you mean by limit extending to a f of x equal to L?
As x approaches a, the value of x approaches L.
So this is equivalent to saying that whenever x is approaching to a, that means that f of x is approaching to L. Right? So I agree. Okay. So now, in how many ways x can approach to a? You have a line, you have a point a, and you have a variable x which is near to a. X can be here or x can be here. So in how many ways x can approach to a? From left to right, or from right to left. Do you agree? That means whenever x is approaching to a, so what I said, that means what, if x is approaching to a from left hand side, that we denote with or I will write like this. Whenever x is approaching to a from left hand side, minus means x is approaching to a from left hand side, then f of x should approach to a number called L1. In that case, the number L1 is called, left limit, right? And if whenever x is approaching to a from right hand side, if f of x is approaching to L2, okay, L2, then what is this L2 called? Right limit, right? Then when the limit will exist, whenever this L equal to L1 equal to L2. Am I right? So left limit should exist, right limit should exist, and both must be equal. Then only we say limit is existing at the point A. So when limit is not going to exist, I'm just waiting for your response.
That's it.
Whoever wants to answer, please unmute and tell me.
L1 not equal to L2.
L1 not equal to L2. First of all, L1 may not exist. In order to have limit, okay, L1 should exist, L2 should exist, and L1 must be equal to L2. Okay. When limit does not exist, if any one of the condition fails, that means what? Left limit does not exist, then limit does not exist. Or right limit does not exist, then the limit does not exist. Or both existing but not equal. I think some of you are unmuting unnecessarily. Please be in mute mode. If you are not answering, just mute yourself. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. So if even if one condition fails to satisfy, then limit is not going to exist. Okay. Left limit not existing does not exist. Right limit does not existing. Limit does not exist. Both are existing but not equal. Then in that case also limit does not exist. Okay. So this is about concept of limit for function of single variable. Okay. Now before this is only an explanation of the limit, but not the definition of the limit. So how do you define the definition? How do you give the definition of the limit? Okay, it is an epsilon delta definition. It will be like this. Okay, whether I don't know whether it is given in your intermediate or not, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0, such that whenever 0 less than modulus of x minus a less than delta implies modulus of x minus a, modulus of f of x minus L is less than epsilon. This is the way of defining limit for limit. Okay. So how close approaching means like this. Okay. So what do you mean by modulus of x minus a less than delta? Can you please tell me? What do you mean by modulus of x minus a less than delta? A is here, x is here, and modulus of x minus a denotes difference, right? So this difference or the distance must be less than delta. Can you see the screen again?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is this collection called? The collection of points. The collection of points whose distance from x to a is less than delta. The distance from a to a minus delta, the distance from a to a plus delta is delta only. So any point in this set is going to satisfy this condition. Therefore, this forms a line segment like this. It's an interval from a minus delta to a plus delta. What is this interval called? What is this interval called? Can anyone say? These are all very, very important concepts. What is this interval called? This interval is called delta neighborhood. Delta neighborhood of A. Somebody said neighborhood. This is what the neighborhood means. So around a point, how many neighborhoods will exist? Because delta is my choice, no? I can have one neighborhood. You can have infinite neighborhoods, right? Now, what do you mean by this? 0 less than modulus of x minus a less than delta means the distance between x and a must be less than delta, but the distance between x and a should not be 0. When the distance between x and a will be 0, whenever x equal to a minus a is 0, no? So that should not be the case. That means what? Collection of all these points in this set, excluding what point? A. So from the neighborhood of A, if you delete the point A, what is that neighborhood called?
Deleted neighborhood.
Deleted delta neighborhood of A. Okay. So what do you mean by this point? Now, what do you mean by this statement? Whenever x is in the deleted neighborhood of A, can you see that? Whenever x is in the deleted neighborhood of A, then L should fall in the f of x should fall in the epsilon neighborhood of L. Whenever x falls in the deleted neighborhood of A, f of x should fall in the deleted neighborhood of L. What deleted f of x should fall in the epsilon neighborhood of L. Okay, this is not L minus epsilon. This is L plus epsilon. Okay, so here f of x. Okay, so if x is here, the f of x should be here. Okay, for every small neighborhood of L, you should be able to find out a deleted neighborhood of A, such that whenever you take a point in this delta neighborhood, its image should fall in the epsilon neighborhood of L. That is what that is how we give the mathematical expression to say closeness. How close means like this. Okay, మీరు ఎంత చిన్న నైబర్హుడ్ తీసుకున్నా దానికి కరెస్పాండింగ్ ఒక నైబర్హుడ్ దొరుకుతుంది. ఆ నైబర్హుడ్ లో ఏ పాయింట్ తీసుకున్నా దాని యొక్క ఇమేజ్ వచ్చి మనం తీసుకున్న నైబర్హుడ్ ఆఫ్ ఎల్ లో పడుతుంది. అలా పడితే అలా ప్రతి నైబర్హుడ్ ఆఫ్ ఎల్ కి జరగాలి. ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ ఎప్సిలాన్ నైబర్హుడ్ ఆఫ్ ఎల్ యూ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ you should be able to find out a deleted neighborhood of A, such that whenever x is falling in this deleted neighborhood, then its image should fall in the epsilon neighborhood. Is this clear to all of you? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now we shall extend this definition to the functions of several values. Let us say function of we are having z equal to function of x comma y. Okay. Now you have a point where this input lies. What is the input? What is the output? For function of single variable, input is x, output is y. The function is f. X is related to y. What is y called? Y is called image of f under x. What is the relation between x and y means what? You will say y equal to f of x. X is input, y is output. Y is image of x. Do you understand? In a similar way, now you tell me what is input, what is output.
X and y are input, z is output.
What do you mean by x and y? You need to say, how do you pronounce this? You simply say x and y. What about this? You will say bracket x comma y bracket, or open bracket x comma y close bracket. How do you call this this notation? Don't you know what is this? This is function. I'm asking only this. What do you call this? This notation. What do you call this? What is this called? Ordered pair. Don't say a comma b. What is this called? Ordered triplet. Is that okay? So what is the input means? What should be your answer? Input is ordered pair x comma y. Output is the real variable z. How these two are related? Means z equal to function of x comma y. What is the input of this function? Input is x comma ordered pair x comma y. Output is z. Z is real. What about ordered pair x comma y? Is it real? Where do you see ordered pair x comma y? Where do you see x? Where do you see x? You can see x on the real line. Where do you see this ordered pair x comma y? Where do you see? Please tell me.
Planes.
Plane on a Cartesian plane. Am I right? So you will see this on a coordinate plane. X comma y will be like this. Okay. Now what do you mean by limit? So what do you mean by? So you have a point. Let us say a point x naught comma y naught. Okay. X naught comma y naught, or you may say a comma b. You may say a comma b. A comma b is a fixed point, and x comma y is a point neighbor to a comma b. I'm going to mimic the definition for function of single variable. First, let me write down the function of single variable limit. Then we'll mimic. For every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0, such that whenever x belongs to deleted neighborhood of delta, then f of x should belong to okay epsilon neighborhood of L. That is meant to say that limit extending to a f of x is equal to L. Okay. Now, in the same manner, I want to know the definition for limit x comma y tending to a comma b, f of x comma y equal to L, a number L. Can you mimic the definition? Just follow this procedure. A function of single variable becoming a function of two variable, single variable becoming a two variables, single dimensional point becoming a two dimensional point. Okay. So now tell me, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0, such that whenever 0 less than modulus of, replace x with the point x comma y minus the point a with a comma b less than delta, implies f of x comma y minus less than L less than epsilon. Is it not the natural way of defining the limit for function of two variables? Do you agree or not? Okay. Is it not similar to this definition? Now, how do you interpret this geometrically? How do you interpret this geometrically? What is the collection of points? What do you mean by first of all, let us write this. What do you mean by x comma y minus a comma b less than delta? Modulus of ordered pair x comma y minus ordered pair a comma b less than delta. What is the meaning of this? Tell me.
Distance between the 2 points.
Distance between the 2 points, right? So you need to collect the points whose distance from a comma b to x comma y is less than delta. What could be the distance? X minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square must be less than delta. That means x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square less than delta square. Can you tell me this inequality represents? What is this inequality represents?
Area inside the circle.
X minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equal to delta square means what?
Circle.
Circle
With A.
centered at a comma b, radius delta. But less than delta means what? Less than delta square means what?
All the points inside the circle.
All the points inside the circle. Okay, so this is the collection of the points. Okay, inside the circle. All these points. That is called neighborhood of a comma b. What is this? What is this called? This is called. This is called a neighborhood, no? This is called neighborhood of a. Inside, not the point, not on. Do you agree? So the shape of a neighborhood will change from dimension to dimension. Do you understand? For a single dimension, what is the shape of a neighborhood?
Straight line.
Straight line. It's a straight line. Can you see that? It's a straight line. A minus delta to a plus delta. A minus delta to a plus delta. It is a straight line. For a two-dimensional, it is a plane. It is plane. What kind of plane? Circular disc. Okay, there is a difference between circle and circular disc. Do you agree? This is circle. What is circular disc? This one. Circle is a curve. Circular disc is a plane.
Plane.
Do you understand? Similarly, what could be the neighborhood of a point in three-dimensional space? Can you guess?
Yes.
Spherical region. Because that is going to be modulus of x, y, z minus a, b, c less than delta. That means under root of x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square plus z minus a whole square less than delta. Do you understand? Is that okay? So then what do you mean by 0 less than? Deleted neighborhood of delta. That means from the circular disk, remove the center. Because for the existence of limit, function need not be defined at a. You know that. For example, sin x tending to 0, sin x by x is equal to 1. And f of 0 is not defined, sin 0 by 0 is not defined. But still you can find out the limit at x tending to 0. That's why we are not really concerning about whether the function is defined at 0 or not. Do you agree? So now the point is, so there are infinitely many ways. So let us say you have a point here, something like this. So let us say the point this is a comma b. Let us say we are removing the point. The center is removed. The remaining part is a deleted neighborhood of a. Now you take a point x comma y. You take a point x comma y. Okay. Whenever you take a point x comma y, okay, its image should fall in the epsilon neighborhood of L. Okay. So L may be somewhere here. Okay, L may be somewhere here. Here is a color. L may be somewhere here. Okay. So it should be something like this. This is this radius is delta. This radius is epsilon. Okay. Whatever the epsilon neighborhood of L you take, correspondingly there exists a deleted neighborhood of a comma b, such that whenever you take a point in this delta neighborhood, its image will fall in the epsilon neighborhood of L. It will be, this point will be f of x comma y. That is what the meaning. Is that okay? So for a two-dimensional, it is going to be, neighborhoods are going to be disk, circular disk, and for three-dimensional, it is going to be spherical regions with respect to metric distance. If you, with respect to the metric measure, if you are considering the distance between 2 points as under root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square, with respect to that, the definition of metric is nothing but distance. Okay, with respect to the that definition of distance, you are going to have that kind of region as a neighborhood, and there are different ways of defining the metric. It is not the only way. Metric theory is completely another subject. Okay, which is studied in advanced level of mathematics at PG level. Okay, at present we have only usual distance, root of y1 minus y2 whole square plus x2 minus x1 whole square. So now the point is, how many limits will exist? In this case, how many limits are existing? Only two limits, because x can approach to a from left hand side, x can approach to a from right hand side. Therefore, you are having left limit and you are having right limit. Whereas for here, x can be anywhere around a comma b. So in how many ways the point x comma y approach to a comma b? This is one way. This is another way. Like this, how many are there?
Infinite.
Infinitely many, and not only along straight line directions. It can be along any arbitrary direction also. It can be along the circular path. It can be along parabolic path. It can be or elliptical path. Or it can be some irregular path. In whatever the manner the point is approaching to A comma B, correspondingly it should have a limit. And all those limits must be equal. Now, can you see the complexity of the limit for higher dimensional? For the existence of limit along all these paths must be equal. Not first limits along all these paths must exist. Not only they are existing, they should be equal. So it is highly demanding. Is it not? So when limit will not exist, even if the limit does not exist along one path, limit will not exist. Limit existing along different paths, but they are not equal. Then also limit does not exist. There are infinitely many paths are there. Therefore, correspondingly, we will be having infinitely many limits. All those limits should exist, and all must be equal. But in order to say limit not exist, it is sufficient to say that prove that one limit does not exist along one path, or you consider any two paths and show that limit along those two paths are different. Is this point clear to all of you? For example, if I say all of you are from Hyderabad, that means what? Each and every one of you is from Hyderabad. I mean to say from your section. What is the opposite of that statement? What is the negation of that statement? Can you please tell me?
Not from Hyderabad.
Hmm? Please tell me. Hello. I'm not hearing your response. What do you, I'm asking just a negation of the statement. What do you mean by negation of the statement, all of you are from Hyderabad? Whether it is right or wrong, try to answer. When I ask the question, try to participate in the discussion. Don't you know? Tell me. At least
One of
so opposite of all of you from Hyderabad is nothing but none is from Hyderabad. Is it right?
Yes.
Hmm?
yes, sir.
Suppose there are 60 students in your class. Let me say that 59 students are from Hyderabad and one student is not from Hyderabad. So what can you say about it? Is
Maximum of the
it
students are
is it not the opposite of the statement all of you are from Hyderabad?
Yes.
But somebody said none of the class are from Hyderabad. Is the opposite statement?
At least one is not from Hyderabad.
Are these two different or not?
Yes, sir.
So which one is right?
At least one is not true.
You understand? So if I say all of you are from Hyderabad, what is the negation for all? Some. Okay, there is some student in your class who is not from the Hyderabad. Okay, something like I always speak truth. I'm an honest person. That means what? Each and every minute, each and every second, I should be honest. I should always speak truth. If somebody says that is not correct, if somebody says my statement is incorrect, that means what is the opposite of my statement? That means in the past, at some time, I made a lie. That means I did a mistake. Is that mean that each and every minute I always say lies, or each and every minute I always do mistakes?
No.
That is not the case, no. So negation of all means some, at least. Is this point clear to all of you?
Yes,
So
sir.
when I say limit exist means limit along all these paths must exist and must be equal. What is the negation of that statement? Okay, if limit does not exist in any one path, or limit along two paths are not equal, then the limit is not going to exist. Okay, what is the negation of P and Q? This is P and Q. What is negation of P and Q? Negation of P or negation of Q. Do you understand? Okay. Limit along all paths exist and must be equal. All limits must be equal. What is the negation of this statement? Limit along, what is the negation of all? Some path. Negation of exist does not exist. What is the negation of and?
Or
Are all limits are some limits are not equal. Now, do you understand how to negate a statement?
yes, sir.
Is it clear? Okay. So that is the limited definition of function of two variables. Okay. So in the next class we will see the definition of continuity and followed by partial derivative definition and followed by some chain rules and partial derivatives. Okay. And you need to be regular to the classes. If you are not attending to the classes regularly, it will be difficult for you to cope up with the exams also. Sir and ICR, whoever is absent today, please talk to them.